Hello and welcome back to the Pride Pod here on Loud and Proud Orlando. I am your host, John Rollins, and I am here with my good friend and co host, Luis Carlos Pineda. Luis, how are you doing?
Doing good, doing good. Kind of missing, some pride action for sure. Um, you know, a big important game against Seattle, a big trip to the Emerald City, right? I think that they call themselves the Emerald City. So, gonna be a one short trip, hopefully a short W, and moving on for bigger and better things. So excited, John.
Yes, indeed. Not a game for us to talk about this week, of course. A week off for NWSL. We're going to talk about a few other things here. We're going to obviously preview the Seattle Rain coming up. Like Luis says, we're off to the Emerald City with our lineup and our score predictions. And we talk a little bit about Angelina versus Sam's this week, as obviously we've had U.S. Women's National Team versus Brazil going on, both on Saturday and another game tomorrow. And then we're going to have a little fun with some early season NWSL power rankings at the end of the video as well, to kind of get the lay of the land here, having had 3 game weeks, about to go into game week 4 of who started well and who has not started well in NWSL. So all of that to come on today's episode. First of all, Luis, let's start off by getting into it with the Seattle Rain, a team that I feel like it's been a while since we played them. Not a team, obviously, that we are close to in region or in the table at the moment. So, as you can see here, as Luis can put up on screen for me, right now in the standings, Orlando Pride, of course, in first position with our 9 points, closely followed by Kansas City. The Seattle Rain, Luis, are down here in 6 with 4 points so far. They've got a win, a draw, and a loss. So, not as bad as I would have thought the Rain to start, honestly. Your thoughts, Luis, on the Seattle Rain start so far before we get into the actual team?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, no, I don't want to discredit any team, but I mean, on paper, I think Orlando Pride are the team to beat. They're the best team in the league right now. They have the best record, the most goals, the most versatility. Now, everything changes when teams put pressure, change their lineup, may do some tactical adjustments, and that's what that ring does as well. So they have important players too. Um, the Korean Football Federation has congratulated Ji So Yoon, which is one of their players, to 2024 Player of the Year. So this is tremendous. Midfielder Yi So Yoon, and she's definitely going to be quite a nightmare right there for the Rain. Also, a former Orlando Pride, Phoebe McLaren, on the defense. So, it's going to be also, you have Fishlock representing Wales, Angard James and all of that. So, it's going to be a team that it's going trying to give the Pride a run for their money. They are able to probably hunker down and play very defensively, and then the Pride is going to have to, show what they've done the past few games, which is being lethal in the attack. I think if the Pride bite first, they're able to definitely open the floodgates. But right now, as you can see, Curry, McClarnon, Anhard James as well. They've been playing pretty solidly. So
Yeah. Jordan Bug, I know, is everyone's
yeah,
bugging out about Jordan Bug and her moves. So yeah, I think I cannot say that the French. He's the French player over here as well, Maddie Dalian.
Darlene,
Dalian, and she's looking pretty good. I mean,
he will
it's
play.
yeah, I definitely agree with you on Ji So Young. I think she is just technically really impressive, and I remember last year watching her when she joined in the summer. I think it was. Really, just an impressive talent. Really great on the ball. Someone that we know about Jess Fishlock, Jordan Heitema, a lot of these players we've known, but Seattle, a team at the beginning of the year, I wouldn't have. I think they haven't done that much in the transfer market. They haven't been that exciting. So I was not looking forward to thinking that they would have started the season up where they are now. It's only 3 games in. They've got a draw, a loss, and a win. So not that impressive from them. Their most recent result, of course, Luis, was the loss to let me see here. I believe it was Angel City. They lost 2-1 away there. They did manage to go to uh, North Carolina and get a win at North Carolina. Now, I don't know how much this says about whether North Carolina are struggling. A place that usually, Luis, as you know, is very difficult to get results in. But I was surprised by this result here. They're not a team that really you can see they got the result here without even really dominating possession, or that they're quite happy to come in and sit back. So I kind of expect that to happen for us against the Seattle Reign, right? I think we're gonna go there, and I think they, even though it's their house, I still think they're gonna sit back and try and absorb some pressure based on just how strong they know this Orlando Pride team is.
Another former Orlando Pride player, Anhar James. I remember her. She also from Wales. Now, I do notice one thing about this um, Rain team. They have a lot of players that are reaching the age of 30 or a little
Yeah.
older than that. And obviously, these are players with a lot of experience. But physically, we're on the up and up. So what we got to do as a team also is being very level headed, because with a lot of experience, you know all the tricks of the trade. So Fishlock is gonna try to draw the foul. Ongar James, when she played in the Pratt, she was very feisty. She likes to cause some issues when it comes to talking back to the refs, or talking back to the players. Now she has unfinished business with the Pride. She used to be Pride. She used to be part of the Pride when they had the spaceship. I call it the spaceship kit. I
Yeah,
forgot.
yeah.
Ad Astra. There you go. Ad Astra. I remember that. Not a huge stint, but one thing about James is she's a starter for the actual Reign, but she has not been the player she was maybe not even in 2015 or 20, even 2022. I will say she's really not that same player. So and she's a starter there at Seattle. I have a feeling that if Seattle doesn't do anything this year, they're going to clean house, because a lot of these players are on their way out. It's just
It's definitely an older squad, and I think a lot of the NWSL squads have been revamped, and I think you kind of see that with teams that are like historically very good, like in Portland and Seattle right now, that they kind of need a bit. Like they've been doing it somewhat, but they almost need a full revamp, right? Like they haven't got the best players in the league at the moment at the teams that have dominated in the past. Even North Carolina, like I said, are struggling there as well. So it definitely says to me that they are in that process. There are some young players coming through. They're giving some young starters some chances, and they're impressing. Like we talked about Jordan Bug, and the goalkeeper, I believe, is fairly young as well. But their core of their squad and the players they really rely on are not super young anymore. So I do feel like it's moving that direction. I think also there's the fact that we're going to be playing on the AstroTurf as well, Luis, in Seattle. That always is a factor. I believe something that we just got to be careful with injuries. So I don't want to go there and get injuries. I think I agree with you in what you're saying. Is they're very a hard hitting team. Fishlock
yeah,
and James,
yeah.
they're going to come at you. They're going to, and we
They
know
they
like
go like this.
And
They
like
talk a lot.
every team is like that. Seattle maybe even a little bit more with some of these players that we would pick out as having that
We them as well.
tendency. Yeah, as having those tendencies. So it's like it's going to be a chippy game. They're going to want to disrupt it. They're going to want to make it, I think not easy for us to get in our flow for the Orlando Pride. So yeah, I'm not convinced about their ability to stop us, but I think overall, you know, we're gonna have to fight hard to get the win, and we have to perform a little better than we did last game in that first half. That was not great against the Wave in the first half. I think we really took our time to wake up, and we don't want to go there,
Again, for
start
sure.
slow, and then let them get a goal and then we're kind of get back into it. We got to come out. And I think if we get a couple goals early in this game, it'll really deflate Seattle and then they won't be able to get back into it. But the longer that first goal takes, the more confidence they're going to have.
We've been in the position in which the Seattle Rain have been. This whole reconstruction. I will say not only just Seattle Rain, but the Seattle franchise in general, including the Sounders. Um, I feel for the fans for sure. I feel for the fans because they used to be at some point, both of them, in the women's game and in the men's game, top level teams. And now it's kind of they have no direction right now, and it kind of sounds like Orlando Pride circa 2020, before Haley Carter and Seb Hines took over. So Fishlock, Elizabeth says Fishlock injured, Huitema coming off injury. Yep. There should be no astroturf, says Elizabeth.
Yeah, no, it is AstroTurf. They're
Yeah.
playing in Lumen Field.
Yeah.
It's called like, field turf, but it is turf. Yeah, it's not pure grass for sure.
Now, it's pretty bad right now in Seattle because let me read you this. Seattle Sounders FC and Reign FC are seeking a strategic and results driven chief financial officer to lead their financial vision and strategy for both clubs and our growing sports and entertainment enterprise. As a key member of the executive leadership team, the CFO will oversee all aspects of financial management, ensuring sustainable growth, operational efficiency, and long term financial health. This role requires a forward thinking leader with deep financial expertise, a data driven mindset, and the ability to navigate the complexities of the sports industry while aligning with the organization's vision and business objectives. They're looking for a CFO, so they don't even have a CFO right now, both teams. So that's the reason why they're not able to even probably poach a lot of quality players because they don't have a guy who's is gonna say, okay, guy, we can spend this much. It's sad, but it's dark times there right now.
I mean, they did bring in Lynn Biondolo, but I think more about that was
From the
like she
Sun,
no from it's Lynn Williams from
yeah, Lynn
Gotham.
Williams, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
she
yeah.
used to be
Lynn
she's supposed
Biondolo.
to be in the Sun, I
But she's
guess.
out for the for a while with a lower leg thing. So she's not back. She hasn't played a game yet this season. So Jess Fishlock is out. Heitema is out according to the latest of last week. And it's Veronica Latsko as well as Rian Brown. So that's I think that's big about Fishlock and Heitema. Biodolo still out, haven't come back. So I feel like that's good for us. It's going to help for sure, and that's really the big signing they did make was Biondolo, but they haven't had a chance to play her yet. So yeah, I think they're gonna have to put a lot on her shoulders anyway when she is there. It's kind of like that thing that we always want to avoid, where we can't just have everything on Barbara, right? I kind of look at the Seattle Rain team like, yeah, they got some players, but I feel like they're putting a lot of their success, hoping that it's going to all ride on Limbia Dolo. Like she's the major star now for this squad going forward. Or you're muted, buddy.
Sorry, yeah, I'm muted. Yeah. So Biondolo is in the in the Rain right now.
Yeah, she moved in the off season. Yeah,
Wow.
I think it's like part of the whole Gotham thing, man. It was like she wanted out, and I think the Rain were looking for a new attacker, but she hasn't played a game yet. That's why you wouldn't have known because she got in and then got injured in preseason. So
Wow.
yeah, but I think it's a good move for her. But yeah, she's kind of their new talisman, right? So, but having not been able to play her yet, it's just kind of I don't feel like I've seen the fully formed version of the Seattle Rain yet. I feel like that game against Carolina, I think, was more about the fact that Carolina just should have scored their goals, like, and they let them, come back into it, and I think Angel City, that's kind of I think more reminiscent of what will happen to Rain when they go away to a lot of places, as they're going to lose quite often. I believe this year at home, maybe they'll be a bit more stronger, but I still think they're a lower end team this year, just based on the aging talent, the reliance on Limby and Dolo. If you look at a lot of other teams in the league, I'm not sure they've done enough in the offseason, Luis, to really challenge to be, a top team in this year.
Yeah, unfortunately, they don't have the firepower we do, but also when it comes to Orlando, we need to see another uh, big, big win, 3 goals or more, hopefully, I mean,
Yeah.
the Pride has everything in their power to make this happen. And, once you score first, it kind of shooks the other team, and they're not able how to compose themselves. And I feel like that's how Seattle's going to be if we strike first. The floodgates could open, and this could end up being a 3-0 win by the Pride, easy. So,
Yeah. Do you want to do the lineups?
yep, sure.
What
Let's
we
do
think?
the
What we
lineups real
think?
quick.
This might be interesting. I feel like we might see a change.
For sure. Let's go ahead and I have the Orlando City already here. All right. So you want to do the lineups again?
Yeah, let's do a lineup.
Um, all right. So we'll do the lineups. Morehouse
Morehouse should be back from international duty.
for sure. I think it's going to be on the right. I don't know. I feel this is going to be the game for Corey Dyke again.
She did get the star. I think she played pretty well in the last one. So
Yeah, Corey Dyke. And then your center back duo, it's going to be um, Sams and Kylie Nadaner.
yep, Haffa is still out with thigh injury.
For sure. And then on the right, Cariabello. On the left, Cariabello, sorry.
Yep, carry a left back.
All right. And then who do you have as your double pivot? I'll go.
What
Do
do
you
you
feel
think?
it's going to Angelina or
Yeah, I think this is the game. We could see Angelina return back to that position. Actually, no, I don't know. I changed my mind. I think not. I think Angelina's going to be on the left wing again. Because I'm thinking about who else would play start on the left wing right now for Seb. I don't know if he's.
yeah.
I don't know who he like. Maybe at
So
some point.
Morgan?
Yeah, I mean, Summer. I wasn't massively
Um,
impressed with last
yeah.
game, so I'd be
Yeah.
shocked if he gave her the start based on that performance. Um, but with Julie still out, if Angelina isn't playing left wing, then it's definitely an opportunity there. But I think she still will. I think Morgan and Haley in the midfield, like you put in right wing, Ali Watt, and Barbara and Marta. So that would be the same, but we could see changes.
Yeah, I feel that would be the best way. Angelina on the left, and then on the right, obviously it's going to be Ali Watt.
Yeah, I mean that's the only real difference from. Well, it's the same from last game, and the only real difference last game was Corey Dyke coming in. So this is what we've been playing. Sorry.
It's okay.
Barky dog. This is what we've been playing, so I feel like that's pretty much how we're gonna continue. Uh, and maybe Angelina will move into that midfield, Luis. I don't know if this is the game. Maybe it will happen, but like we talked about, I would love to start Chewinga. Sorry, Chewinga. What am I talking about?
Chewinga, Chalupia.
Chalufia. Sorry,
Yeah,
I was getting my names mixed up.
I think it would be a great
Chalufia,
idea
I would love to
to
start
start
Priska.
Chalupia.
Yeah, I just don't know if you start her at right, would you put Ali at left wing, or maybe you could start Chalufia at left wing? I think she could probably play there. It would be interesting to see what that looked like with her cutting inside. I just want to experiment with the left wing position because Angelina can do a job there, but I honestly feel like he always moves her into the D mid anyway, and like that's where we were comfortable. I feel like she's creative there. Morgan has started well for sure, but we're seeing this trend of her coming off and Angelina going there. So when that happens, who goes at left wing? Last week it was Summer got the chance, but maybe Priska comes. Maybe Grace gets a chance finally, man. Like I would love to see Grace. I mean, she is an out and out left winger, really. I know that's kind of her position. So
Hopefully this is not another
um,
Sophia Manor situation happening.
I hope not, man. I really want to see Grace at some point. So I'm gonna remain hopeful that her time will come. The same with Simone Charlie as well. That we're still waiting for her to get back to full fitness. Is another attacking piece that we could potentially move around here. So Barbara and Martha are locked in. I feel like Ali Watt right wing starting should be locked in. Excuse me. And then the left wing, like I think you had it right with Angelina, but later in the game, who's going to come on is what really interests me
Probably
at
summer.
this moment. It could be Summer again. It could be Summer again for sure. I think she needs to redeem herself after last game. But I want to see more of Chalufia. She didn't get a chance really, or hasn't got a huge amount of minutes, just a little bit at the end of the game. So I
We
would like to
just
see Chalufia get a start at some point and see what
Yeah,
that
I
looks
just
like.
feel like maybe a start for her will motivate her
Yeah.
to push through because I mean she was one of the top players in Mexico, but I still have not seen that, overpowering strength and speed as you would see it with Banda, for example.
I think
So
it's about the timing and the
yeah.
positioning.
So I think maybe, why would it work better for Chalufia? Playing on the left, playing on the right. I think playing on the right is usually the obvious choice. But, I feel like with Ali, even though she may not have the finishing touch as Chalufia, she's able to drive the ball a little better,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So, but I do want to see, especially against Seattle, I think we can take the luxury, and I know this sounds a little cocky, but against Seattle, we can take the luxury to start Chalufia in this game.
I think we could. I think that would be fine. I mean, I would also like to see what if you put Allie on that left side, like you said, and let her cut in on her right and have some shots. I feel like she's got that ability, Chalufia too. So instead of playing a left-footed side player, they're just playing inside forward, someone that can kind of come inside and link up with Barber and have some shots from distance from that left-hand side. I don't see why not. Summer and Angelina are left-footed, and we usually go for a left-footer out on that side, but it might be a good wrinkle, kind of give some space for Carey to fully attack up that left wing as well, if there's not a player in front of her. So we'll see. But I feel like Seb is comfortable with this as a starting point. Ali Watt, I would obviously instead of Chilufir, and then go from there. See what happens.
For sure. Let's read some comments here. This is McCutcheon's first goal. She already has 4 goals, I believe.
Yeah.
Grace, for sure, says Elizabeth. And then, yes, Briska needs 50 to 60 minutes. Yeah,
Yeah.
she definitely needs more minutes, for
At some
sure.
point, Luis, I really want to see Zambian Trident, which is what I've nicknamed it, or we need to come
Yeah,
up with a name
with Chanda.
for the point, and this will happen. I
The
hope
Zambia
at some
spear,
point
the spear of
when
the
this,
sword.
yeah, right when we've got Grace, Barbara, and Priska all up front at one point, one in each wing and one in the striker position. That would be really cool. We'll see. It'll happen at some point. So, uh, Elizabeth says no. Haley will score first. Oh, she's saying like Haley will get the first goal in the game because that's a trend. Yes, that has been happening, and we always win when Haley scores first.
Yeah, for
So
sure. I think Haley needs to, this is one, and we'll talk about the national team in just a second. But I just don't understand how you missed out on a player like Haley, or players from the Pride. And also, I do want to bring up something that I saw on the NWSL Instagram that I really didn't like, and we'll discuss in just a second. But this will be the lineup against Seattle. We'll feel Morehouse up top, Corey Dyke, Sams, Netanner, Abello, Morgan McCutcheon, Marta, Chalufia, Angelina, and Banda. I like that.
that's it.
Yep. So,
Alrighty. Do
we'll
we?
be
Sorry. Let's do our predictions real quick, Luis.
sure. I'll go for a. Do you want to pull it up? There you
Yeah,
go.
I got it right here.
All right. So I'm going with a. I had a 4-0 win. Fine.
Yeah, man.
You,
I
you,
I was close. I was close.
yeah, you were close. Yeah. Um.
We haven't got anyone right so far, Luis. But we predicted wins every time, and we've got that right every time.
We're in a 3-0 win.
You gonna go 3-0?
Yep.
I like
And
it.
yep.
I like it. I like it. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with a 2-0 again. I think this time we get the 2-0.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
that's our
let's see.
predictions.
Let's see who wins. I think hopefully one of us get it this time. This time.
We haven't been
So
so lucky.
before we dive into Sam's, I wanted to show you this, which I don't
Please,
know if
yeah.
I don't know how you take it, but NWSL did a bracket for the best kits in the NWSL,
Oh, they did some ranking. Oh, and people
and
voted.
the Pride
Wow.
wasn't even in the picture.
Wow.
Like we weren't even part of the initial bracket. They had Portland, San Diego, the Rain, Washington, Kansas, Houston, Utah, and Angel City. We weren't even part of the begin bracket. I don't know if this is fans. I don't know if this is the league, but you gotta like Birdman would say, put some respect on my name. Put some respect on my name. You
Yeah.
can't you can't you can, if you think the Pride jersey is not beautiful,
Okay,
you gotta
Luis.
get your eyes checked.
I'm gonna tell you something really, really upsetting. Okay. I saw another kit ranking video for the NWSL, just like the one that we did at the end of the last pod,
Uh-huh.
where they went through all the kits and they ranked them. The bottom of the pile. What do you think the bottom of the pile was? It was the one that you don't like. It was the what is it? The highlighter kit for the Washington Spirit,
How
and
is that
then
pretty?
right above that, in the next spot up, was the Orlando Pride jersey.
No, they're doing this. I mean,
I
this
I
this
was
is
like, who put? They said it's. I believe the words were, I don't like the colors. I don't like the purples. I was shocked. I was like, this is not that lower jersey, but Luis, it shows, everyone's taste. Sometimes maybe it's more about popularity. Look at this, like two LA teams. I think, are we surprised that the LA teams get the most votes? I don't think so. I don't see how either of those kits are the nicest. I would have voted for several other kits in the league before those as the nicest. So yeah, an interesting choice there,
not
Luis, by
only
some
that.
people, but
Angel City, like it's like they're trying to, like I understand these are big markets and things like
yeah,
that,
yeah.
but all the commentators pick, it says here,
Yeah. Yeah, KC. I mean, the KC bias is real. It's
garbage.
it's a lot. Some people don't like purple. They have bad taste. Yeah, I mean, it's true. They can have bad taste if they don't like purple. That's on them. But I just think subjectively our jersey is beautiful, and I would think that even if I wasn't an Orlando Pride fan. So I'm amazed why people don't like it. Um, Alrighty, let's Luis talk all about for a second Sam's versus Angelina. I feel like it wasn't really Sam's versus Angelina though. It was really just Angelina versus USA because um, Tara Mikion got the shout, the Gotham center back over Emily Sams, who it was a real opportunity, I think, here to start Emily in this first one. It was not to be. I am not dismayed because there is a game tomorrow again against Brazil, a Tuesday game after a Saturday game. I really hope Emma Hayes will then actually start Emily Sams because she seems to be getting called up for a lot of camps and not really being played or just got like very small amount of minutes off the bench. And I keep hearing all the time about how we're rotating and we're giving options and we're trying to find our new, our new starting 11, right? Like giving opportunity for the new wave of U.S. women's national team stars. Paula's Joyce here getting an opportunity, performing really well. I really feel like Emily Sams on Tuesday should get a start in center back to play a full game against a top opposition like Brazil. But Angelina on the other side, of course, was in there. A decent game from her. I don't think she really stood out too much as you can see here. Obviously, all over the place for Brazil in that
81
midfield.
minutes.
Doing that. I think she's so integral. I just think as overall Brazil, they were okay, but they weren't on fire. And I think Angelina, did a good game, but is expected to do a lot in the midfield for Brazil. So good to see her. It was nice to see her and Emily Sams exchanging jerseys, and there was all the pictures at the end that were out on social media of the two of them. So I like that. That's nice to see. Also, who else do we see on the board here, Luis? Adriana here,
Adriana from the
still
Shrine.
still getting the starts for Brazil. A few other, of course, players we know from around the league: Ludmila, Gabi Portillo, et cetera, et cetera.
Portillo, been
The
there, done that.
the U.S. women's national team. Rodman was back. She got a goal. Lindsay Heaps now, not Lindsay Horan, with the PK. So, yeah, it was a good result for a women's national team. I was a little sad that Sams didn't get the start. So, really hoping that she will in the next game. But there's some young, impressive players. Get like Ali Sentnor had some great time minutes in here. Alyssa Thompson really played well. So why, this is what I mean. Like other players are getting their chances. There needs to be some Pride players in the mix here. Crystal Dunn,
They
absolutely love Crystal Dunn, but you don't have to play Crystal Dunn at left back. You could put Carrie Abello there and then put Crystal Dunn wherever you want to put Crystal Dunn. Like, so that's the kind of thing I'd like to see.
so this is the thing why I feel like this is a big lie. So you want to have the next generation of U.S. women's national team stars? Well, it doesn't seem like it because you're playing friendlies against Brazil back to back, and you're putting me Emily Sonnet, which got clobbered by the Pride, and you put me Crystal Dunn. Like that's not revamping your back line for the future. And if it's a friendly and you're really not losing anything, why the hell are you putting Crystal Dunn? She gets the time to play in her club. So it's just I just don't get it. I just feel like this is, I don't know. Call me a conspiracy theorist. I don't know if it's dictated by the clubs. They want people from Angel City and from Utah and from San Diego, or I mean, or Gotham. Like I really don't understand. I think you know, for it on the new wave
Yeah.
of UN's women's national team, this women's revolution, there's no one single player from the Pride getting minutes. It's a disgrace.
I think it's also like they only are doing that in positions where they have to do it. You know what I mean? Like I think there's a lot of this like, oh, we're making room for the new era, but like you're still going to use your best players no matter what age they are. So there's only really opportunities for players, and right now there's opportunities in the attack because the triple espresso is like, not even really here at the moment. So it's like there's opportunities because other players are injured or not there, but as soon as they come back, I'm just like, I feel like it's gonna be the same. I mean, I think Crystal Dunn, like you said, Louise, you nailed it there. Like when you need Crystal Dunn to be there, she'll be there for you in left back or whatever position you want to put her in there. She's proven that time and time again. So why are there not other opportunities in these games for even more players? And I am happy that they're doing the U23 thing. I do think there are a lot of positives. So like I do think that there is like a revamping happening by Emma Hayes. I do think she is trying to push this team in a better direction, but I just think some of the lineup choices, I can't get behind it, Luis. And I think there are players being chosen over other players that it just doesn't make sense to me. Like go out there and pick the best of the best in each position that's available right now. If it doesn't matter about how many caps they have, why aren't we seeing more opportunities? I know they're just for pride players. I would argue there's a lot of other players in other teams around NWSL that I'm like, why are you not calling up this player? Like what's going on there? So, I would like to see more rotation from Emmer Hayes. And,
Yeah.
you know, I think also some of this, other players here that they're getting chances. And I think there's a lot of players that are getting chances that maybe shouldn't really be, like not to be harsh, but
Avery Patterson, who's that? Pat Patterson's cousin?
I mean Avery Patterson, I believe she plays for the Houston Dash, I want to
Come
say.
on, the Dash?
And she's a defender, I want to say. I can't
Dash is
remember
what I put on my
if
chicken.
that's the one. Yeah, I think she's a left back. I can't remember. But she came in for Fox, so she's playing right back or something at that point. So for me there, that's the question where I'm like, there's clearly space in this team for a few more better players in other positions. So let's see. And I think as in this game, Sonnet did play, and as we said, is an older player in the squad. Maybe she should not play next game, and Sam's could get in, and Tara McKeown could still play. Even that is fine, but let's see a bit of rotation. I think if she doesn't play at all in this next one, Luis, I question why you keep calling her up and not giving her minutes. So
Yeah, and then this is when you see
like goalkeepers, it happens, but like friendlies is the time to rotate and give everybody time.
how many goals that Katarina Macario has in with Chelsea right now.
Well, that's there's that bias from the Chelsea days there before for sure. I think Kat Marakara is very good, but was injured for a long time, has been out, and is kind of just coming back. And it's there are other like I would have started Ashley Hatch probably
Yeah, I
if it
would have
was
said Ashley
me,
Hatch too.
but we could sit here all day and pick what we would have done differently. The result was there. They played well enough. It's just the lineup choices
So
for me
I have
that
right
really
here. It
frustrate
says
me.
here in the 2024 in the English Women's Super League,
Yeah,
they play Crystal Palace on the 23rd. I do want to say,
yeah,
so I'm actually following them too. 6 starts, 3 goals, 2 assists. Not bad.
yeah. I mean, she's back. She's forming.
Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah, I mean, hey, when I'm not debating the talent of some of these top players, and like they're young enough for sure. I just think that we have those too, and they should be in the mix and getting chances while everybody else is. So, enough about that because we'll be here all day ranting. Let's go have some fun, Luis, and talk about this one. So, as you can see on here, we have uh, the rankings for the NWSL teams. Now, this is like way too early, I would say, Luis. Right? Is the
Mm-hmm.
way we're going to talk about this. So we're going to do power rankings
Okay.
way too early. And this is just after 3 weeks. I've got different categories. So just like we did last week with a bit of fun with the jerseys, we're going to have a bit of fun this week. The top category is the real deal. Then beneath that, we've got playoff lock. Then we've got hear me out, and just as if they gotta kind of explain themselves. We got staring at the panic button below that, and then the last bottom tier. Oh no, we suck again. So this is something I've done with other pods and like MLS teams, and so it's a bit of fun. Join us here in the chat. Give us your comments. We love to hear what you think. Luis, I can be a fountain of knowledge as I pull up how teams have started the season and what they've done. But let's kick it off with Angel City and your initial reaction to where you would put Angel City in this power ranking.
Angel City right now, they have the press. Everybody's talking about them. I think they're gonna be a hear me out.
You think you hear me out? Okay. Yeah. So
Hear
it's
me
kind of
out.
like, and you feel like they're sort of mid-table,
Yeah, yeah, hear
maybe.
me out. You know,
They got some good players in there, and they're getting better. Yeah, okay. They're fourth at the moment. They've got a draw. Sorry, they got a win and two draws.
they
They
kind of like
got
turkey bacon.
they
Yeah,
they managed to beat Seattle last week, and they drew to Portland and San Diego
yeah,
before that. So yeah, pretty mid. All right,
yeah.
Bay FC.
BFC
Bay
playoff
FC.
look for sure.
Bay FC are a playoff lock for sure. Okay. All right. Give me your
Yeah,
reasoning behind Bay FC and playoff lock.
they got Kunda Jandi, man.
Yeah. I mean, that alone. That alone will probably get you playoffs.
Correct.
Kundananji on a roll. Yeah. I mean, they started off with a draw
I mean, they're
against
gonna get better.
Utah Royals, right? And then Racing Louisville, they beat them at home. So that's good. And then they lost away at the Spirit. So yeah, not a terrible start. I'm not inspired, but they should be better than last year, right? They're definitely going to improve, I think, on
Yeah.
their rookie year here. All right, let's go with Chicago Stars.
Oh no, we suck
Oh,
again.
straight in there with the oh no, we
We
suck
suck
again.
again.
Yeah.
We suck.
Do you need to explain? I mean,
I mean, I don't want to. I don't want to make fun. I'm just saying it is.
oh, oh,
I mean, they just. I mean, even
yeah,
the brand change and it's
yeah.
just not good, man.
I
You
mean, I
know,
feel like this is an Orlando Pride situation. You know what I mean? Like
they got to start from scratch. They got to fire everyone.
this is not great, guys. Like you started pretty bad. Pretty bad
They got to bring a college
here.
coach and for a few months and, and they give
Yeah.
their yeah
I mean, 3 games, -8 goal
yeah.
difference. They've scored 1 and conceded 9. I mean,
Darren,
we were 6 of those, but
love is an open door. Their
bad
defense is an
times.
open door.
Chicago Stars. Oh no, we suck again. This is probably right. That's probably right there, Louise. That's the right category for them. Houston Dash. Okay, this is interesting. I'm gonna go. Hear me out.
You think
You
so?
know,
I think they're falling like
our
Alicia
we
Keys.
got a comment here from our that says, I think they could maybe be panic with Mal Swanson, but otherwise they're horrible about Chicago. Mm,
Nah, we suck.
Maybe we'll see. We can adjust later. If we feel like there's teams worse than Chicago, I will move them up. But I right now I'm struggling. I'm struggling to see it. Remember, this is just 3 weeks, Pat. This is like right now. Where are we sitting? Houston, Dad. I'm gonna go. Hear me out. Do we think they're
Oh, right.
better?
Based on right now, based on your predictions for the whole season.
Kind of like right now. I mean, we know that the season's going to get better, but like if you're looking at right now,
Okay.
where
Okay.
do who's the real
Yeah.
deal? Who's a playoff
So
lock?
that's fair.
Yeah, I think you can take some of what the future will bring into account, like Arifide is talking about Mal Swanson. That might help the Chicago Stars. They might move them up into a category, but overall, this is
Yeah.
kind of indicative of where they started. Now, this is all way too early, Luis. Let's remember that. This is all just for a bit of fun, way too early in the season. Houston, they are in 8th. They've got 1 draw, 1 loss, and 1 win. I feel like they have improved under
Yeah, but
the new
I think they're gonna fall
managership.
down.
You feel like they're gonna go back,
To
slip
me,
back
I
into
think.
their
To
old
me, I
ways.
think it's staring at the panic button. But if you
You
want to put them
really?
there, that's fine.
Wow. Okay. All right. So you feel like staring at the panic button. You feel like they haven't. You think this is like a good start, but we're gonna see them slip
Yeah,
back down anyway.
yeah.
Okay. All
I
right.
mean, if you look at their schedule,
Oh yeah, what they got on this?
yeah.
See, that's
So
good. See, I
if you
like
look at
that.
their schedule, they have
Give me schedule reasoning.
their schedule have Angel City, and then they have the Current,
Ooh.
and then they have Utah Royals, and then they have Racing Louisville. So they have 2 games back to back at home, and then they have Seattle Rain. So
Yeah.
again, it could be. I feel like they're gonna lose their next two. They're gonna lose against Angel City, and they're gonna lose against the Dash. Sorry, the Current.
Mm.
Then they may get a win here and there against Louisville or the Royals. You know,
Yeah. Um.
but
Yeah.
it's gonna put them in that barely making playoffs, if that.
I agree. I okay. Let's move them down to stare at the parent button. We'll see. We'll see where we end up. Maybe we'll move them up. We'll see. All right. Casey Current.
I hate
Luis.
to say it, the real deal.
Oh no, we suck again? No? Oh
No,
no. Can I put them down? No, I
if it
can't.
was if we were like the commentators in the NWSL, I'm
If
sorry.
we were biased, we just put them way
Yeah,
down here. We'd be like,
yeah,
no, hear me out. Casey, you're not that good because no,
yeah, yeah.
there's
You can't
not.
deny. Yeah, you can't deny Chewinga and a lot of the good
No,
players they
no,
have.
can't fake that one, Luis.
Yeah,
They are the real deal, and they're up here. And some people would probably put them ahead of us in these like power rankings. I know that like I've
but we're
seen other
top of the league.
people. They don't. They don't.
They don't like us,
they
man. I
think
think
they've
it's
seen some
something.
wobble. They think they've seen some wobble in the pride
I
from
think
our
they're like, oh my god, that
three
Orlando.
wins. They're
That
like,
Orlando.
oh, the wave really upset Orlando Pride in that first half. What's going to happen? But whatever, it is what it is. The KC babies are going to be the darlings of the league, and as long as we're head to head in the standings, I don't. I think they're going to always put them above us just because they can. Alrighty, moving on. This is an interesting one, Luis. Where do you put the Bats? Where do you put Gotham?
Um,
I don't know.
so right now Gotham is as predicted last deadline. Yeah, I'll say staring at the panic button.
I think so. And I think like worse than Houston. Like I think
Worse than Houston.
right now they're just like above like so far on the board. Like Chicago. I mean, it's
I usually have mad respect for Gotham. I'll be honest with you.
yeah,
And I have mad respect for Gotham fans because they don't tolerate discrimination and racism. So kudos for them.
right.
But I really have a bad taste in my mouth of what I saw in a friendly game against the Tampa Bay Sun.
I love
No, I
it.
have a really bad. I
I
mean,
love it.
I
Luis
have
will
a really, I
never
have a
get over
really bad
this.
taste in my mouth of what I saw on a friendly against Tampa Bay Sun. They did not even dare to put their uniforms on. They play with training kits. The Sun were like, it was a big crowd, and they were all with their uniforms, treating it like a real game. They treated it as this was a sparring game, and they almost lose. And then I didn't like the cockiness of their coach on the post press conference. And then what they try to do to the pride, Emily Sonnet, and they're all like, falling, crying, whimpering. Like honestly, I'm disappointed. Like I don't like some of their players' attitudes are just to me bad, and I think they're going down, man. Unfortunately, I mean there's going to be a restructuring in that team for sure.
I mean, I was just looking at their squad. Like they got. I don't know if this is right on SofaScore, but they got like 6 goalkeepers listed on here. They got like so many defenders and attackers. Like I feel like they bought so many players. It just there's so much turnover there, and then you just got like all of these star players, and then like other players that were bought in to replace them, and I just it just all seems like a mess right now, man. And for them, like they are staring at the panic button because they already are. Like they're in 12th. This is a team that's supposed to be top 4, and they've got a win. Sorry, they haven't even got a win yet. They've got 2 draws against Seattle and Houston, which is not good. And then they lost to us. So, and they look, we didn't even really, we got those couple goals, and then we let them kind of come at us in that game, and they didn't do much at all. Like honestly, it was not threatening. And that's to say this Gotham team that, as good as they were a year or so ago, it's not there right now. So I think they are staring at the panic button. I think they're way down here. I think right now this is accurate for them, and it could get better, of course, but I think they have like a, and we hear the word culture too much now, but
Yeah.
they do have a real culture issue, I
They
think.
should embrace the. I mean, look. Be honest with you. They should embrace Batman. If they would make their team,
Embrace the bat.
yeah, embrace the bat. Like if they would make their team marketable, they would even get more people. Like like it'll make their team something about with Batman. Like like it'll be great. It's Gotham FC. Does Gotham exist? No, it
Gotham
doesn't.
is like is it like a region, or is it just made
No,
up? I thought
Gotham
it
is.
was like actually a neighborhood in New York, or is it
Oh,
not?
yeah, it is.
I don't know. Maybe it is.
It's a soccer team based in the New York metropolitan area.
Yeah, but is it just a made up
It's in
place,
Harrison, New
or
Jersey.
is it
They're from
actually
New
a
Jersey.
region? And yeah, so that's where they play. But like, is Gotham a real place? I don't know.
I mean, it says here,
Is it like a
while
neighborhood?
Gotham City is a fictional place,
Yes.
the name the name Gotham does have roots in a real place. The village of
Yeah.
Gotham in Nottinghamshire, England.
Oh, okay. Well,
There you
no.
go. It's your
So it's
people.
not.
It's your
So
people,
there's
John.
not a Gotham in New Jersey or New York anywhere. There's not
Oh,
even. There's not
look,
a.
Gotham nickname. Gotham is also an old nickname for New York City. That
Well,
is
yeah, that's fine.
so it's like us calling the Sea Cows.
Yeah, I mean, I
Further,
thought it just came from Batman, but Batman obviously got it from that, so
yeah.
it's like a ongoing thing. So yeah, but
Further
anyway,
adding to the connection between the fictional city and the real world.
yeah,
Whatever, man.
it's yeah, it is what it is.
They don't like the Statue of Liberty, and they have the Statue of Liberty in their logo. And I
I
will
I,
I will
I
add,
just
yeah,
think pick a side, pick a state. You can't have
yeah,
both
man.
on your. You can't be new. You're either in New Jersey or you're in New York. Like
Yeah, just
I'm
embrace.
sorry,
What's wrong with New Jersey?
people. Yeah, I don't.
Like I know people may not like Bruce
Well,
Springsteen's
it's the
music.
same. It's the same with the guys, with the Red Bulls. They're in playing
Yeah.
the same stadium, and they're in New Jersey and not in New York.
They have
So
New York in there. Like,
yeah, we see it all over the
whatever.
country. Teams playing in other cities. The Fort Lauderdale, and your
Whoa,
Carson
that stadium is gonna be
Carson
built.
City is not really
You know that stadium is gonna be
L.A.
built way past Messi, right? I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. So, but anyway, enough of that. We digress. Let's talk about the North Carolina Courage. I'm gonna go. I gotta also put staring at the panic button. Are they
Me
staring at
too.
the panic button more or than
Less than Houston,
less than Houston? Okay, so
but
this is why I put Houston up here, man, because I think Houston are better off than these two have started
okay,
right
all
now.
right.
Right now, right? Let's do that. And we might change in a minute, but yeah, the same thing as all of the stuff we said, but almost worse for North Carolina Courage because they played at home to Racing Louisville. That was a tie. I mean, I could have told you that was going to be a tie. It said tie all over it.
Yeah,
And then the Seattle Reign, they lost at home to them. I'm still shocked and annoyed about that one. And then Portland Thorns, another tie. Like this is an easy start, man. This is an easy start. You've gotta. And everyone was talking about how North Carolina are going to be back again, and like they've got all this strength, and the defense is still there. And I just Jaden Shaw is awesome, but she's not scoring right now, and it's not. I'm not excited by this Courage team, Luis.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I think the courage in that position, it's right.
Yeah, I mean, I expected them to be like fifth, sixth, like
Haven't you
definitely
noticed?
fighting fourth, maybe even. Like, sorry, what are you saying?
So the similarities between New York and the Courage are these are two
Yeah,
well-established teams in the NWSL that are on their, I think, maybe their first regenerational change. We're
yeah,
seeing, and this is great for. I think this is great for women's sports, because this is how new stars should come. And it's part. It happens to all teams. We've seen the. I remember the Chelsea with Hasselbank, and then eventually Drogba comes along. A young Drogba comes along, and things like that. Shevchenko, and then Drogba comes along. So there's so many, Del Piero, and then you have another good striker coming in for Juventus and things like that. Roma and Barcelona, like there's changes always in different teams. I think these two, I have mad respect for the Courage because the Courage actually are one of the pioneers. They have also a men's team. A lot of people don't know that, but they're actually their own
yeah.
individual franchise with a men's and women's team called
Hmm.
the North Carolina Courage.
Yeah, it's a nice
So
stadium out in Cary, man. Like, it's
yeah,
an
so
I gotta really respect that
I have
organization.
respect for that organization
Yeah,
tremendously. So they're gonna probably put the right people in place, just kind of like what Orlando did,
yeah.
and thrive.
But right now, these two are the biggest upsets so
Yeah,
far in the
for sure,
start of the league. Is that
for
these two
sure.
teams should be up? They're down in
Yeah, yeah,
10th and 12th, and they should be up in
yeah.
fourth and fifth.
At least the courage and Gotham is
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah,
So this one's easy, Luis. Orlando Pride, the real
the
deal. Are
real
we?
deal,
Are
number
we
one, baby.
number one? Are you gonna say? Are you gonna
Number
debate
one,
this?
baby.
Why are we more the real deal than Casey Current? How about that? That's a question.
Age, stamina, better front office, cooler city. I mean, you're talking about Kansas City, Missouri. It's unfortunately it's only known for jazz music, barbecue, fountains, the Chiefs, and the World War I National Museum.
Okay.
Orlando, on the other hand, we have Major Buddy Dyer, number one, class act. Metropolitan, all cultures. We also have barbecue, if you want that. We have Mickey Mouse, Disney.
I mean, Harry Potter alone
We
just
have
wins that
Epic.
battle.
What was it called? The new park,
Yeah.
Universal.
You can go hang out with the dragons and then the whatever the
Right?
from
We
How to
have
Train Your Dragon.
the epic, yeah, right, the epic universe, I think it's
They
called,
got
from
everything
Universal
here.
now.
But anyway,
I mean, we got it, man, and we got the fans. So
yeah.
man.
Hey, Casey has started really well, of course. We don't
KC has the stadium.
Ugh. They are there. They're gonna be following us, and it's gonna be like last year, and it's gonna be neck and neck, and we're gonna have
It's a
to
good
fight them
rivalry.
off. And yeah, and they got a great team, and we got a great team, and purple versus teal, you know, it's all good for the league, but they are gonna be annoying, and we're gonna have to deal with them again like last year. But hey, if we can get another game and win like that 3-2, and Marta dropping their two defenders on the floor, Luis, I'll take that all day long. So, Portland Thorns, what do you think? Hear me out. Staring at the panic button.
Man,
I
that
think
is
they're here
that is
personally.
a team that, it's just sad to see them so down, man.
Do we say, "Oh no, we suck again"? Are they? I think they're like maybe even here.
Yeah.
I would give them this.
I will put panic button.
Yeah, like panic button because they do have some players, but
Yeah.
like obviously Smith is out. She's gonna be out anyway because she's taking time off to have a baby. So it's
This is a team that needs definitely new players. Like they need to approach
yeah,
players from Europe. I mean, they have the money. I mean, at some point they were really heavily regarded. They even had a game against FC Barcelona. I remember.
yeah. And I just don't rate Rob Gale, man. I think he's just not good. And I think that they going for this like, interim manager thing and like it's just they don't have that same level of coach that other people do. So I think there's a lot of issues in Portland. We could talk about that for a while, but we will not go on any longer. Racing Louisville, Luis. Hear me
Uh,
out. Better than Angel, worse than the Dash.
well,
Playoff lock? Are they?
I think there'll be a hear me out.
You think there'll be a playoff lock or just a hear me out? I'd say they're probably here,
Yeah, yeah.
and maybe we could move Angel City up to
To the
playoff
playoff,
lock.
maybe.
Do you feel like they're a playoff lock?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's probably.
They're gonna get better. Yeah,
I'll probably.
they have good
I feel a
starts.
bit more of that. What about San Diego Wave? Where
I
would you
think they're
put?
gonna be a playoff lock too. I'm
Also a
thinking,
playoff lock. So
yeah,
if better than the, I think they're going to be better
they're
than
gonna be
all of
better
these.
than
I think
all.
they're going to
Yeah,
be here. Yeah. So
yeah. I mean, I think they have a really team that gave the Predator. They
yeah,
scared the Predator a little bit. They
we're gonna.
shook them.
This is like the resurgence of California right here. Like
Yeah,
all the California teams are going to get better
but
this
we gotta
year.
kill them.
We got to go take down some Californians. All right, Seattle Rain, the team that we played this week.
Look, I'm
They
telling
I
you,
mean, they've started okay. They're in sixth.
I think they're gonna fall, man.
I think they will too. I'm gonna go hear me out. I'm gonna put them there for now because
Okay.
they haven't started bad for now, right? But it could all go bad
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
for sure. Alrighty. Utah Royals. Ooh,
I don't know,
here.
man. I just feel, to be honest with you, they have a lot of hype, and they have players in the national team. The Pride doesn't. I think they're gonna suck again. And to tell you this is, they make 2.5% beer in Utah. You guys are insane for doing that. What kind of city makes 2.5% beer? They might as well just make it NA. You know.
Uh,
But anyways, yeah, I think. Okay, yeah. I mean, they're a young team. They have a couple of good, talented players.
yeah.
They they just, I don't know. They just don't. They haven't really made the impact with the rebranding and everything. I feel.
Yeah. I mean, Mandy McGlynn is playing well in
Hmm.
goalkeeper, and they got a lot of like young. It's very young, man.
Yeah.
It's a very young team, and it's gonna take a while if they get better. And they're also putting a lot of responsibility on young players. Like Ali Setnor is like one of the best players in this team. She's 21 years old. Like
It's
you can't
huge.
be putting all that on. That's like us putting everything on Summer. Like that's too much. It's just not. It's not logical. I think they are going to suck again. Are they going to be worse? Right now they're a little bit better than Chicago, but arguably I would put them down here. Chicago have more upside in some ways. But yeah, they have not really improved. If you look at the upside that Bay have gone through from last year and their first year and this
Yeah.
year, definite improvement from Bay. Utah, not so much. All right, last one, Luis. Washington Spirit. Are they real deal? Or are
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
they top of playoff lock?
No, they're the real deal. Plus, they're pushed so. I mean, it's like wrestling, dude. It's like, remember when they first wanted to push John Cena, and you're just, yo, I just saw The Rock, I just saw Steve Austin before, even
Yeah,
Brock Lesnar. You're trying to push a guy with jorts to me as the best wrestler ever.
yeah,
They're trying to push me, the Spirit. Like, this is the what the league is. This is the league's.
yeah,
Come on, like, um, what can I tell you? Trinity Rodman, don't get me wrong, phenomenal talent. Mentally, I think she needs to learn a lot still. I think she's still a kid. She's still a little responsible. She has a big mouth, doesn't back it up sometimes.
yeah,
And she's gonna learn eventually. She needs to little bit more humble. A lot of those players, especially, and I tell you, as a journalist, I have the chance. You should have seen the way they were looking at Orlando media when we were there.
mm,
They were like giving us like the side eye. I'm like, I don't even get the side eye from my daughter. You're gonna give me the side eye? You gonna give me the side eye? I'm
yeah,
like, you're not giving me no side eye just because I don't need to talk to you. You're not. It's loud and proud, Orlando.
yeah.
I'm
I'm not
like,
here to interview the
it's,
Seattle Ray
yeah,
players.
they were expecting the Orlando media to jump on
Yeah,
them and just, hey, oh, I have a question here for you. I'm like, no one cared. Everybody wanted to talk to the Pride players.
Yeah.
Everybody was waiting there to talk to the Pride players in the Challenge Cup.
I think Washington are probably the real deal.
Yeah, they are.
I still think KC and us are a little bit better.
Yeah, KC are
I
better.
think we have a better depth. I think that's being shown here at the beginning of the season. And but I do really rate their coach. I think they got a great squad. They got a lot of talents. So they're going to be up there.
Yeah,
I think it's gone from a top four quickly into a top three,
for
Luis, and
sure.
I think Gotham have fallen right out of it right now, and you're going to have to do a lot to turn it around and make people convince people that they are a real deal contender. I think the biggest, most interesting thing for me is San Diego Wave, and I think it showed last week when we played them the massive leap that they. I think their attack is very dangerous, and their defense is getting better. So there is a world where San Diego Wave, Luis, at the end. I think we should do this periodically throughout the season. We'll kind of tweak it and change it, but there might be a world where San Diego Wave creep up, or maybe Bay creep up into this real deal category, and we've got another competitor to compete with. Or maybe other teams will drop out. Maybe KC Current will suddenly fall apart. That would be nice, but I don't see it happening. So we're gonna keep looking at this throughout the year. We'll kind of come back to it, and we
Yeah,
can we can
yeah.
go. But right now, if you want to, you can screenshot this. So you can. I'm gonna save it here, Luis.
Sorry if I.
Like here's the image. I'll download it. Luis can save it for us. Um, and that way we can post it on social media, and you guys can all disagree and tell us why we're wrong. So
Yeah, you got. Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, John,
please.
if you have the
This is
actual,
just
if you
this
have
is
the
our
actual image, send
opinions.
it to me. If you have the actual image, send it to me.
Yeah, I'll send you the image. This
But I
is you
do, I do
can.
want to tell you guys that when it comes to this ranking, if you guys look, just to give you a quick thing, um, your favorite player,
Yeah, Morgan.
Alex Morgan, the Morgan curse,
It's been
Orlando
lifted.
City,
It's
or
been
sorry,
lifted.
Orlando Pride, Morgan leaves,
Oh wow,
San
Luis.
Diego,
There's logic behind this
Morgan
take.
leaves.
There's logic here. I love this take. I'm all over it. This is my
Uh
new
huh.
favorite
The
take.
Morgan curse, man.
This is my new favorite take.
You imagine.
Uh,
So maybe if Morgan becomes GM of Racing Louisville, and then
I,
she leaves us there after 2 months.
as much as I'd love to blame it all on Alex Morgan, I think it's more to do with the fact that your team is either rotten or it's not, right? And I think San Diego Wave we knew there were some bad things going on
Yeah.
there. And now they haven't. And that's what happened to us too,
But
right? And
I mean, she likes to make clicks.
yeah, like I really feel like
She likes to make clicks.
the most important thing in NWSL is that like all your squad gets along and is together, and like yes, you got to have all the pieces, but if you've got a broken squad that's
Correct.
fractured and they don't agree with each other and there's no unity there and the culture is bad, then you're probably Gotham, right?
That's how
But
the pride. That's how the pride used to do before.
yeah, and that was years of the Pride. We
You
know it.
have
We
the
know it.
you
We
have
could
the
see.
yeah, you have the Morgan posse, and then
Yeah.
you have Marta like carrying her bag, no one looking at her, and her going through some people. And then you had what's it called? The other girl, the retired too. They used to play in Angel City. Sydney LaRue as well
Oh,
at some point
Sid,
too with
yeah.
her posse too.
Sid was the
And
nicest one. She's the
yeah, Sydney
best.
was
Love
nice, man.
Sid.
I'm just
But yeah, I mean, this is that's the reason that we're up the top, KC up the top, Washington up the top. They're all teams that
yeah,
are bought into their manager's vision. Their manager, they play for each other. They play hard. They aren't easy to beat, and they week in week out get results. So I think that will continue. So please go ahead and disagree with us. You can, like I said, post us everywhere. We thank everybody who was here in the comments to give us your opinions. Arafida, Volside Words, Elizabeth, Chris. Thank you to all of you who are
thank
here
you guys,
commenting
appreciate it.
with us. Luis, next week you're gonna have to go solo, so I won't be on the pod, but
Yeah,
you'll be here next week to talk all about Seattle Rain.
He's getting
Uh,
married, guys.
yes, I'm getting married on Saturday as we play the Seattle Reigns. So I'm hoping, Luis, that my 2-0 prediction is right and we
There
get
you go.
a W
I'll call you.
from.
I'll call you live.
Yeah, I need an Orlando City win. I need an Orlando Pride win, and I probably also would like an OCB win on the day
Yeah.
of my marriage, please. Small requests,
There
just
you
if you could make that happen, that'd be great.
go.
So thank everybody who was here. Luis, can you do me the favor of running us through the socials?
Yeah, definitely. We're Loud and Proud Orlando. Check us out on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We're on X at LP underscore podcast, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Loud and Proud Orlando. Drop us a thumbs up, a comment on the video. We'll respond to you on the next episode, and also a 5-star rating right there at Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Make sure you are dropping the 5-star rating. That way, it's kind of weird, the algorithm. We don't have the actual, or I mean, we do have Orlando on there, but I think the algorithm on Spotify and Apple Podcasts is you have to have the team's name as your podcast name, which is kind of weird. So, but the more reviews you leave us, or you pass the word around about us, they give us a 5-star rating, they're gonna put us up there more on the algorithm, um, because obviously we're not just an Orlando Pride pod. We also have Orlando City pod, and there's other podcasts that have Orlando City as their podcast name. So you know help us out, do us a solid, drop us a thumbs up, 5-star review. Thank you so much for your support.
Thank you all. We appreciate you all, and vamos, Pride.
Vamos Pride, have a good one. Thank you.